Twin flame story again, man. I wasn't even going to do this, but it's on my mind, and I like to record when things are like on my mind, when I can remember things in detail. So, yeah, let me get into my story, y'all. It's story time with Tawana. So, yeah, let's talk about running and chasing with twin flames. I had experience. Um, I went through separation with my real twin. Um, and when that happened, I came in, I came across another guy that came in totally like a karmic. Okay, at the time, I knew my gut told me that this was a karmic partner. Okay, when he approached me as the same kind of energy from my twin, like the same kind of. It's a crazy fucking story, man. He was from the same place as my twin. And because my twin flame is from Nigeria. Okay, let me just point that out. I'm from America. Everybody know that. But when I met this karmic during my twin flame separation, I had already gotten rid of a false twin. At the time, I didn't even know that my false twin was my false twin, because when you're dealing with twin flame connections, sometimes you just don't know who's real, who's not. That's why sometimes you see tarot readers post things like, oh, this is your real twin or this is your false twin. Okay. So I had left my false twin not knowing that he was false. Like back then, probably back in, I would say, 2017, I was like truly done with my false twin. Okay. But I kept feeling his energy pulling me backwards. But let's get back to the motherfucking karmic that came towards me when I was separated from my real twin. Because this motherfucker, like I said, he came in, he was Nigerian, he was just like my real twin. And when I say just like him, same fucking accent, you know, he wasn't attractive like my real twin, you know, but his energy matched mine. He was an Aries with a Gemini fucking rising. So now I'm looking at him as a fucking false twin too. Okay. So I believe with my twin flame journey, I have met two false twins. Okay. Um, this story crazy as fuck, man. Um, so I get to know the second false twin. I'm gonna call him a second false twin because, like I said, he had a Gemini rising, and I end up doing this birth chart or whatever, and he had a Capricorn moon. When I first met him, I didn't like him. I noticed that he was like pretty much flirting with everybody around him. He was using that Gemini energy real good. Very flirty, just walking around. I would be looking at him like, what the fuck? But I couldn't understand what was drawing me to his energy until he told me that he was an Aries. So as a Sagittarius, of course, we're going to be drawn to fiery energy, the communication, you know, all that shit. So I found myself communicating with him. At the time, I know I'm separated from my real twin, and I love my real twin, in love with him, everything like that. So, I could feel this Aries person, you know, talking negative. He started off being all cool, like, "Oh yeah, your man is from the same place I'm from and stuff." Like he was going in, like wanting to be cool, wanting to know more about me and all this other stuff. And then the next thing let me tell you, I met him at work. I'm not afraid to tell this story because my twin flame, my real twin flame, knows. about the situation. So anything that I'm speaking on here, I don't have to be afraid or ashamed of it because, everything has happened already. So meeting him at work, there was a lot of coworkers. They like to go out on the weekends, drink and do stuff when we're off work. Um, I went to one of my friends' house, and this is how the energy was following me around. I had met a girl at the job, same job, and she was a Gemini. Okay, she didn't have a vehicle or anything. I used to take her back and forth to work, because I was trying to be a good coworker, and I knew she couldn't get a ride to work, so I used to let her, jump in my car. You know what I mean? And I would bring her back and forth to work. I didn't really like the job and everything, but you know, I was there for a reason to be tested by the devil. Okay, to be tested by the devil of a fucking Capricorn fucking moon. So the shit was fucking crazy as fuck. So yeah, I started going out all the time on the weekend. I would say I was going out every fucking weekend. A lot of y'all might have seen me online, shooting pool, having fun, kicking it, doing a whole bunch of fucking shit. Just enjoying life. And um I told I'm trying to talk, but somebody keeps texting me. I tried to tell, you know, my twin flame, which is my husband, what was going on at the time. Like, hey, I just met somebody that was from where you're from and everything. And I didn't know the guy was attracted to me, until he started noticing, more of my energy going towards my twin flame. He was just, he started being attracted to me, and he started telling me like, oh, where's your husband, asking me where he's at and stuff, and trying to see if we were getting back together because we were separated and everything. And then he just really tried to, blow my shit, try to ruin my connection and everything, because that's what, false twins or soulmate connections do. So he asked me one day, he was like, can I meet him? You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, cool, you can meet him, you know? And he lived down the street from me or whatever. So he would act like he was interested in helping me and stuff too. Um, One time my car was broken, so he came around and he was just like, you know what, I can help you. I got friends, I know people around here. I know you're not familiar, with this area or whatever. He used to just, always offering help. Like even at some point, I was being tested again because my car broke down at the job. He offered help, let me get you some fix a flat for your tire, things like that. And I was just like, what the fuck? So, like I said, I was surrounded around two different Gemini energies at the time, a coworker, female, and him. So, yeah, we were kicking it. So I let him talk to my husband on the phone. The first thing that he said was, "Oh, this woman is beautiful. She's beautiful. Do you want this woman? Do you want her? I know you guys are separated or whatever, whatever." So I'm like, the devil was working hard. You know what I mean? Like overtime, and I made a mistake of bringing this guy around me, my coworker, to the point that, you know, my husband was like, what the fuck? Like, why is he around you? Or, I seen you, in a car with him. You were here, you were there, or whatever. You went out, all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? He's just a coworker, but behind my back, he was kind of like talking in his language to my husband and even lying to my husband and telling my husband some shit about me, maybe telling him that I liked them or that we were together or, just trying to sabotage my whole shit. And then he told me that my husband had a whole bunch of females and was doing a whole bunch of shit. I was like, what the fuck? So at that point, I was like in a fucking seven of cups, like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? So a lot of times when you're in twin flame journeys and shit like that, motherfucking outsiders can come and sabotage your shit, try to break up your shit, try to ruin your family, whatever the fuck. So that was some crazy ass shit I went through. Okay, just being in a connection with somebody and somebody on the outside trying to fuck it up. So that caused a lot of arguments between me. You become a runner when somebody tries to fuck up your shit. Okay. And at the time, my husband became a chaser. So he was trying to get in contact with me. I was so mad about the confusion, the the miscommunication that was going on, a whole bunch of stuff. So I allowed, an outsider to ruin my connection and even made it worse. And at the end of that situation, that guy that I met at work, he was pretty much wishing death on me at that time. He told me that he was into voodoo and, he was doing a whole bunch of shit. He told me he knew a lot of prophets and shit in fucking Nigeria and a whole bunch of fucking shit. So he was like a really dark energy coming from the same place of my own husband. So it was a crazy thing. And then I had to really break down and tell my husband, like, this guy is a demon. This person's a devil. Okay. He had a Capricorn moon, and his moon represented the dark side and not the upright energy of, him trying to do the best thing for himself. He was definitely using his energy for evil. He was at his darkest, you know, and he was even wished COVID on me as well. He was stalking me online on Instagram or whatever. Um, and he told my husband, he was like, I hope your wife get COVID or some shit. He was trying to speak some shit into the universe on my ass. I said, oh hell nah. I'm like, that's coming back on you, bro. Like you should never do nothing like that. And then he told me, you know, in his language, he was saying a lot of negative stuff. He was like, it will never be well with you. He was just speaking nasty stuff on me, you know, and he was just threatening, just letting me know that he knew people that could do this or do that. And, a part of me that didn't believe him, or I always just stayed protected. You know what I mean? So you just never know who you're going to run into out here. People trying to sabotage your shit if somebody see you happy and they're not happy and they're miserable, they're never going to be, you know, they're not going to be happy trying to fuck up your shit, and I would say that he was an African that came to the States and impregnated a freaking American female, which already had, 3 children by 3 other African males, that might have came to America, and then he's putting another baby in her and he couldn't tie her down. He couldn't keep her to himself. And, he liked to run the streets. He never really kept a job and he was a baker. So he was a very ignorant type of person that I ran into, while I was going through my twin flame journey. I would say one of the worst people I ever met, coming from Africa. And I know a lot of Africans because my family, a lot of people in my family are married to Africans. So, I want to embrace, Africa and stuff because, of my roots, my ancestors, things like that, you know. Um, But that's just a little piece of my story, when it comes to that situation. But I'm just letting you know how I became a runner, a runner. And my husband was trying to bring things back together at the time, and while my husband is trying to bring things back together, here comes my false twin, somebody that I left already. And he was pretty much crying to me. And he was telling me, this is another person before I met that other one, but coming to me and crying, telling me that he's sorry for cheating. He wants to make it up to me and he wants to get back together and he'll do anything he can, you know. But again, let's mention I'm married, so I've also been in a situation where someone is trying to make your marriage look bad, trying to make your real twin flame look bad, and trying to, sabotage your shit and try to come between me and my husband. I would say pretty much get down on bended knee. You might as well say he did with all the crying he was doing, trying to get me to leave my husband. And, you know, with me being separated from my husband, I kind of fell for it a little bit because I was like, okay, maybe he's being sincere. Maybe he wants to talk about it, you know, and I found myself, you know, contacting my false twin. talking to him, going over the past and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I regret, you know. And because of the separation from my husband, this person felt like he had one up on my husband. You know what I mean? Like he felt like he could just, squeeze right into the spot, but he didn't want to just be, someone on the side. He actually wanted me to get a divorce from my twin flame, and I didn't allow that to happen. But that's what he wanted, to ruin it, because he felt like he messed up his chance with me. Because when he was with me, he had a lot of babies on me. You know what I mean? Just undercover bullshit secrets behind closed doors. And it just was not right for me to go backwards to that. But when you have, an old connection with somebody, I would say that. I had an old connection, and a lot of times when people put you in friend zones and then they try to come back and try to be with you, sometimes you feel like you're jumping into a wish fulfillment, like a nine of cups. And that's where I was. I was like, oh, hold up, how am I at the nine now when I was at the fucking three or four, you know, in the past? Yeah, the journey can be very crazy, dealing dealing with people. Sometimes people don't want you until they lost your ass, And I found myself singing that song all the time. Ain't no sunshine when I'm gone. Okay. That song was running through my head all the time because, people they had me and then they fucked it up and they wanted me back. So I was really like pissed off that outsiders were trying to, fuck up my shit. Now, as far as, you know, a situation where my husband might have been running, you know, I feel like my real twin, he might have been in a running position before as well, a couple times, okay? My real twin told me that he was going to leave the country, things like that. And, you know, he put me in a position of fear, like, hey, I'm about to just disappear and you know, you may not ever see me again. He might have said some crazy shit like that to me before, and my heart just dropped. Like, no, 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 no. Where the fuck do you think you're going? So yeah, twin flame shit is crazy as hell because I was like, no, hell no. And then I would find him coming back, and I would be like, wow, he came back. He really didn't leave. That's how I knew that he was real, because I'm like, he felt like he couldn't live without me. You know what I mean? But my real twin flame really definitely, when he gets in a runner energy, it's like, everything just shut down for me. Everything. Because it's the biggest fear ever, just knowing that you're going to lose them for life. And I know that I know that I'm not going to lose them, but it feels like it, or you just feel like you're just being torn from somebody. You know what I mean? You feel like your soul is being ripped apart when there's threats coming from your real twin flame and you're going to that separation. See, what some readers don't want to talk about is how you can still argue with your real twin flame. You can. You can go through a whole bunch of stuff, but it's a strong it's a strong connection. It's a very strong connection, you know. And I would say that I would say it makes you feel really bad during, the runner chaser shit. It really does. We do it to each other, but we come back together. That's all I can say. And that also happens with false flames. You know what I mean? You can't come back together with a false flame if you're dumb enough to do it. Me, myself, not weak enough to fucking do it, but I know somebody watching this or somebody else has a different twin flame story and they probably did, you know, go back to a false twin knowing that it was their false twin. Me knowing that somebody's my false twin, I would never go back to them. You couldn't pay me to go back to them, okay? You have to be very strong-minded dealing with these type of journeys as well. But I can say that, you know, yeah, we both been there. He ran, I ran. you know. But when I ran, I would say that I did run a little bit too much at some point, and I ran so much that I felt like all was going to be lost with my real twin because I felt like, maybe I was gone too long. I got that feeling like maybe I was gone too long and maybe he's not going to accept me back. But you can't think like that, especially when you're with your real twin because he'll always accept you back. But the feeling, I can't even explain it. The feeling of like just thinking that they're not going to take you back or you fucked up too bad or whatever, or it's going to be a next lifetime before they take you back it hurts deeply. You know, have you ever found yourself dealing with somebody and you knew that you didn't love them? Okay. I was in a situation when I knew I didn't love somebody and I was around them and I was missing my twin flame. I was going through the roughest times in my life, and I want to speak on that too, maybe in another video. But my false twin, my first false twin, put me through misery and hell, the worst that I probably experienced in this lifetime. Um, and I almost feel like I lost everything. I really literally feel like I lost everything. Let me take that back. I lost every fucking thing dealing with my false twin and almost just ruined my whole life. I could have been dead. Let me say that. I could have been dead if I would have stayed with my false twin. Okay? Now I got y'all thinking, how many false twins have you had? How many fucking soulmate karmics have you had? Some of you are gonna really start thinking about stuff like that. For real, for real. Because the shit is real. Okay? It really is. If I really sit down and, you know, count up, how many long-term relationships I've been in, or how many fucking karmics I fucking met throughout the fucking years. How many stories I probably have, you know, probably a lot of stories just talking about one motherfucker. For real, for real. And it would be fucking crazy, but that's why I'm here to help you guys on y'all journeys too. I just got done talking to somebody about, karmics and shit. You know what I mean? And they can come into your life and they can ruin it. That's how you know that something is not right for you when you're dealing with a two of cups situation and that shit spirals out of control and it's ridiculous. All these two of cups motherfuckers, all they're doing is setting you up for, lessons to get you to your real twin. That's all they're fucking doing. I feel like a lot of them are setting you up to take you towards your false twin too, so you can meet your real twin. So it's a fucking journey here, being here on this earth. A lot of people don't know who the fuck they're really dealing with, who the fuck they supposed to be with. You know what I mean? So it's fucking crazy out here. You gotta stay protected. If you find yourself being with somebody and you don't trust them and you gotta stay protected every time you open up your eyes, you need to leave that person alone. Somebody could be watching me right now, afraid in their home or, living with somebody, sleeping with one eye open. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? These situations, they can get dangerous, you know? And, yeah, just try to trust your guts. Some of y'all know that people are false soon as you meet them, but you still allow them in your life when you know you should be walking the other way. A motherfucker coming towards you and they might have 3 kids with them that day. They in the mall, like I'm buying my kids some fucking jewelry or some motherfucking, clothes or some shit. I'm taking them out to have a happy meal and they try to approach you. A motherfucker might try to approach your ass and tell you that they about to drop their kids off. That could be your karmic right there. Okay? Do you think that somebody would, come to you and be sincere with 3 children? Like, for real, for real? Mm. I mean, maybe somebody else been through that, but I don't know. But that's just an example of how somebody could come towards you and ruin your life. And you don't even, and some of y'all might know it, but you're not even thinking at the time. You might just be like, oh, this motherfucker is fine. Like, I'm about to be with this person. Let them drop their motherfucking kids off and let me go fucking chill. You know? Shit. Sometimes you just want to have sex. Or somebody wants to just have sex with you and they want to go back home. You just never know. But try to stay away from these karmics, y'all. I mean, this re- this reading, this is actually turned into a reading for somebody, because somebody's going to listen to this and somebody's going to say, I was meant to hear this. This could be anybody. I mean, YouTube is worldwide. Somebody could be watching and they might have been through the same thing, you know. But the chaser. Have I ever had someone chase me? Yes. Yes. Sometimes you'll get people that chase you and they chase you for a long time to get tired, you know, and then they just wait for you to, wake the fuck up, you know, and come back towards them. So I feel like that has a lot to do with the real twin, because the real twin ain't gonna be getting themselves tired, you know what I mean, coming after you. They gonna be like, you gonna wake up, bitch. You gonna wake up one day. Not saying they gonna call you a bitch, you know what I mean, but you know, they gonna be like, man, you gonna wake up, cause you gonna know what the fuck you leaving. You leaving something good. You ain't leaving nothing messed up. Now, yeah, that's what I have to do to run a chaser shit. Yeah, I'm gonna come back, y'all. I'm gonna get off this shit because I'm gonna do a runner chaser video about a motherfucking false twin, and you gonna see the big ass fucking difference, and y'all gonna be like, really, really? Yep. We gonna get into that shit because it's gonna be a whole different outcome, and that shit gonna be real. It's gonna be real, and it's gonna be my story too. Okay, so I will talk to y'all later. I just be talking and shit. I don't, you know, I'll be back. I will be back because my twin flame is texting me right now, and I don't want to be a motherfucking runner. You know what I mean? He just texted me twice. Hello, twin. Yeah, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go see what the twin is doing.